Aren't there bay doors?
Yeah, but they already set up the booths around it because they didn't get there on time. So
that's Eddie's fault, not your fault.
so we get there, and I'm like, okay, here's what we do. Try to get this wherever you can. Go. And so I get in the shower. I'm like, I gotta finish this up real quick before anything else happens. I get the shampoo in my hair.
Hi, this is Tom Kane, the voice of a Jedi Master named
before
Yoda.
I even took a
and
rinse,
you're listening to
phone goes
Fanatics.
So I rinse
away.
everything off and grab the phone, saying I'm down on the floor in 10 minutes. Let me put my clothes on.
Did they let you put the clothes on? Because this VisionCon, they don't always let you put your clothes on.
But yeah.
So and folks, if you've never been, to a convention of any kind. But if you've never been to VisionCon, the minute you step into that convention center, it's our world. For lack of a better way of saying it, it's literally you're going to see Doctor Who's. Can't help.
So many.
You're going to see this year. You're going to see Deadpool's, Jokers,
Harley Quinns.
God,
So many. Last year there were so many Harley Quinns. There's going to be so many more now.
Help me out here. What else are we going to see? We're going to see.
Usually you got some Catwomans and some Batmans going on.
Actually, we're going to see Gotham people. Most likely, we'll probably see at least.
I hope there's a tiny Selena Kyle. She's my favorite.
And we're going to see lots of Flash cosplay.
Yes, we're going to get into that here in a little bit.
Probably Star Wars.
A little bit. So, we were talking earlier about IMAX is one of your sponsors, and we don't get to spend enough time on movies because we get stuck. I actually have a list of the stuff that's come out already. I think it's kind of funny how much has come out nerd-related. Brandon, do you remember the Underworld saga when it first started?
Oh yeah, I remember thinking that Kate Beckinsale can do anything in leather, and I would just watch it.
Same.
Where are we at now? Because isn't this the final one?
I think this is supposed to be the last one. Unless they decide to reboot it.
Underwood Blood Wars is the name of this one.
I think this is the 5th one in the series now.
Yes,
because there was one without Kate Beckinsale entirely that I didn't even watch because
not worth it.
she wasn't in it. So that was kind of my problem with it. But it's interesting. I haven't got to see this one yet, but based on what I've heard about it, it's hopefully ends the chapter because I think that needs to be ended. But I like a good vampire versus werewolf story. It's always great.
I find it odd that there's no video games based on this. The video game side of this was an epic fail, in my opinion, versus the movie. I know you've seen it.
Underworld?
Yes.
Yes, I have seen it.
How many?
I saw 3 of them. I did not.
Behind.
I did not see the one that didn't have her in it because she was my entire reason for
going to the Branson IMAX to see Blood Wars?
Are we going to? If we're going to be there, then yes. If not, no, I'm not going to go on my own time.
I honestly, it's kind of like Supernatural getting another season. I'm kind of over.
Can we not talk about Supernatural getting more seasons?
We're going to talk about that later.
I just wanted to go
away. When I saw that Blood Wars was released, we're kind of burnt out on trailers. We're kind of burnt out on so many different things.
I'm just getting burnt out on the endless sequels. I mean, the new XXX sequel. We've got so many just
with Ice Cube in it.
Hey,
he's in it.
Yeah.
He's at least in the trailer.
And
I'm pretty sure I saw Samuel Jackson in the trailer, and it's cool.
He's in it for 3 minutes before he gets killed.
Samuel Jackson or Ice Cube?
Samuel L. Jackson.
Okay. I mean,
spoilers.
So they're killing off all the black folks in
Funny story about XXX. I went to see it in the theater in Ozark, and the movie. I'm sorry, I love Vin Diesel, but it was a terrible, terrible movie. And the movie's about halfway through, and I'm just like, I wonder if I fall asleep, if anyone will notice. Because that's less rude than just getting up and walking out. But, and this is a true story, my hand to God, lightning struck the theater and the power went off. And I was like, oh, thank God. Because as we were leaving, we got passes that we can go to another movie later on. I was like, thank you, God.
I will not be spending this pass.
What's sad is the concept was ingenious when it came out. I mean, honestly, it might have even been a little late because the whole extreme thing had come and gone by the time it came out.
I don't know. I thought it was always horribly written, but I just always enjoy watching Vin Diesel shoot and beat and do crazy things.
I prefer him in Fast and the Furious over Triple X, but but I also prefer him in. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on what I'm thinking of.
I don't know. My favorite role he ever did was Riddick.
That's something like I prefer him as Riddick than I do Triple X. But they're literally the same character if you look at it enough.
Best thing Vin Diesel has ever been in was that movie where he played the Navy SEAL that comes in and takes care of the poor children.
She's got to bring up the pacifier.
Hey, that's a good movie. No,
and he is one of the only actors I know that it can put a lot of emotions into 3 words for an entire movie.
I just like that if he was to come to VisionCon, he'd play D&D with us. That's all I care.
That would be part of his contract.
Right. Well, he actually whines that he has not got it because he works so much. He didn't get to play. I'm like, bring him to VisionCon.
Well, he did a game based on his last Witcher movie.
I liked that one.
But he did a role playing game based on it, and it's on YouTube. You should check it out. It's pretty funny. Just listen to it because it's great.
So also stuff that's coming out, monster trucks.
I don't know what that means. But if it's just a movie about monster trucks,
no,
they're trucks that are monsters.
Literally,
that sounds worse.
It's isn't it a Disney or is it a Pixar?
It's a Nickelodeon, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so it's not even like one of the good animated people.
Split just came out recently.
Yeah.
It's tracking well. James apparently does an amazing job.
Well, of course he does. Come on.
Yeah, everything James does is amazing. Okay.
He's amazing, regardless of the film.
What's really cool about this one, I kind of found out as I was reading stuff on it, but apparently it has a little bit in common with Unbreakable.
Yes.
If you ever go to see the movie, so it's actually Shyamalan actually said in an interview that this was always part of his plan when he did Unbreakable. Is he always had this other movie in the projects, and so there might actually be a third one that leads into the both of them if it comes through it.
To my understanding, it's actually based on an actual case, police case that actually happened. Although it's heavily embellished, of course, as it would be.
Oh, yeah.
But, no, I hear it is actually based on something that actually happened. And I definitely didn't hear that from my mother, who is ridiculously obsessed with criminology things.
So, the next one I want to talk about it for a reason. Because
you want to talk about the dog movie, right?
Yes. Not because of anything other than the effects, the makeup, that they've always been on top of their game. For no other reason, both in the game and in the movies, their effects, their makeups, everything for Resident Evil has always been on point. And more importantly, it's the final chapter. We don't have to deal with this anymore.
The games have always been interesting. The new one just came out, the Biohazard game. The movies have always been... It's one of those things, you only watch it for the action.
Yes.
It's not well written. I like watching Mila Djokovic do about anything.
Actually, and there was one where she was in a room fighting these large dogs. And the scene, the fight, everything was all bad. But up to that, it was,
So it's just one of those that you don't go into watching to be entertained by the story. You just want to watch zombies and monsters get blown up.
It's an action movie.
Yeah,
I actually watch it. Especially now we have 1080i televisions and gigantic screens and digital IMAX. So you look for special effects and things like that. And you and I we've met so many of these people. We know some of these people. And we are honored. Why don't you tell me about, Andrew, tell us about these two amazing guests you got coming to VisionCon this year from this awesome television show. And I've met one of them already.
Well, if you've never watched Face Off on the Sci-Fi Channel, you're missing out because
it's a fun show.
You don't have to know anything about special effects or makeup to be able to enjoy the show. They do such a great job, and the people are so on top of their game, these contestants. It's amazing, the transformations that they do. And we have the only person who's ever won the show twice coming, Laura, and our other person that we have coming is RJ Hattie, who I met at TrekCon a couple years ago.
Yes.
On the show, he is so likable and personable, and you always wonder when you meet people in person if they're their persona that they do on television, and he is exactly like he is on the show.
I get him so drunk.
He's so kind and generous.
He was
and
so mad at me.
So nice. And I've never met Laura Tyler, but like I said, if you've never seen the show, she is stunning. I mean, she went on to have a huge career. She's worked on the Hunger Games and just has this huge movie career now, all thanks to this show. That just,
Actually, isn't she working on something like right now?
She actually will be leaving one of her shoots to come to VisionCon, so
which we'll ask her about when we see her.
But yeah, it's so she's literally working up until the point that she gets on a plane to come to VisionCon this year. We don't know exactly what release that is, but it's an upcoming big one, I know. So
and you know,
and she's teaching workshops.
They both are, aren't they?
They both are. RJ's actually teaching 2 workshops, and Laura's teaching 1. And they're actually very reasonably priced, $25.
I've taken my RGs
to have a class from one of these, literal Hollywood makeup artists right here in Branson, Missouri.
One of the most talented people I know.
Oh, yeah.
I hung out with RJ. It was big fun. And I got the chance to ask him, because if you ever watch these contests, and then there's always that one person whose life just seems to decide to go wrong right then and there, and then it gets worse, and it snowballs, and before you know it, the building collapsing all around, all these things. And I've always wondered, is that television magic, or is when things start to go bad, is it really that bad?
No, they just try to find the most talented people with the most depressing lives.
And apparently it really is when it starts to go downhill, and makeup's falling off a person's face, and the person falls asleep, and then they have a seizure. It really does all start to go bad all at once. Right. And I don't know why that tickled me to death, but it made me feel like, so there's a little bit of reality in these reality shows. That is so cool. Did you got to meet him when RJ was here?
Yeah.
And his Klingon stuff was excellent. I mean, I was a little annoyed that he did it because I thought Klingon was just but it was really good.
He is an excellent at his craft, and more so than that, one of the things that really drew me to him is just when I met him, he was just a very personable person. He wants to be there in front of people. Yeah. He likes to teach. He likes to show off. He likes to be a part of this culture. And so that's always something that's really cool that I always look for, when bringing guests in, is that's one of the whole, one of our main criteria. It's not just how much they do and, how cheap I can get them. It's how well they interact with the people at the con. And that's always an experience I want to bring, because I want people come for more than just an autograph and, a picture. I want them to have an experience with an actor.
If you bring someone mean, we know to blame you.
And we will. We so will. Yeah. So, and sticking with movies for just a second, a major part of most people's nerddom is Star Wars. I mean, we've seen 2 Star Wars in the last 2 years. We're still talking about both of them, be it good or bad. It's a part of our legacy. And the effects are great. The makeup is great. All that's great. But behind that, there's another step that most people don't even know about. Where it starts, there's a guy that sculpts almost all of this stuff.
Out of clay.
Mm-hmm. And we get to meet him!
Well, Brian Mura is probably the most prolific sculptor that I at least does con appearances. I don't know any other that I could even talk to at this point. But he has done pretty much everything that you loved in the past 40 years. If
you liked it, just assume he did it.
He's done Jurassic Park
for the Queen.
Yeah, he's done Jurassic Park. He's done recent Marvel movies. He did Star Wars. I mean, Darth Vader was his work. Mm-hmm. So he's probably one of your, if you've watched a movie that you've enjoyed in the past 40, 50 years. It's been done because Brian Muir was able to make it.
16.
He's an amazing talent.
Were you that talented at 16, Brian?
No.